I'm here near the edge of Mistwood Forest, where 2 decades ago, the mysterious disappearance of Claire Roberts sent shockwaves through the community. It was late Friday night when Claire Roberts was last seen leaving a friend's residence. As the days unfolded, the residents of Mistwood were gripped by despair, unified in their desperate search for any indication of the whereabouts of the then 17-year-old.
20 years. Really can't believe it's been 20 years already. It still feels like it just happened yesterday. We searched every inch of those woods, and we never found a trace of Claire. Now, who could be all the way out here, I wonder? Yeah, come in.
Harris? I can't believe it. You're back? Oh my god, Mary told me she spotted your truck. I thought she was just telling tall tales. And here you are, large as life, 20 years later. Wow.
Officer Frank Collins. You fancy yourself a welcoming committee now?
It's actually Sheriff Collins now.
Well, congrats, Sheriff. You deserve that, Frank.
What brings you back to Mistwood after all this time?
To tell you the truth, I received a weird package at my precinct the other day.
A weird package? What do you mean by that?
Well, the only thing that it contained was a bracelet, and it looked a lot like the one Claire used to wear when we were younger.
That is weird. Who sent it to you?
I really don't know. There wasn't any note or return address. Just the bracelet. And the fact that it came just days before her 20th anniversary made me feel like it was time to come back to Mistwood.
The timing here has got to be more than a coincidence, I'm sure. Piece of evidence showing up 20 years later? Seems unlikely.
You're not wrong, Frank. Seeing Claire's bracelet, it opened up some old wounds that I thought were healed.
I hear what you're saying, old friend. But ghosts tend to linger, don't they? Maybe the only way forward is to finally face them head on.
You've got a point, Frank. Time may soften some things, but it's definitely not an eraser.
You aren't alone in carrying those scars. Just the other month, Olivia James was in town, and let's just say the pain in her eyes was just like yesterday, even after all these years.
Oh, Olivia. I haven't spoken to her in so long. I hope she's still not blaming herself after all this time. It wasn't her fault, Frank.
No, of course it wasn't. But imagine it was you, Harris. Claire leaving your house at night, vanishing without a trace, the guilt, the questions. They'd gnaw at you day and night all these years. It's a different kind of burden. One that even the strongest have trouble carrying alone.
Can't pretend the thought hasn't plagued me before too, Frank. More times than I can count through all those long nights questioning what if.
Hey now, we tried our best. We looked day and night, even though storms didn't keep us from looking for any evidence of Claire's whereabouts.
It's just tough, Frank. We made a promise that day to find her, and I feel like we let Claire down.
Anytime you feel like we let Claire down, I want you to look at that wall behind you. You've got every lead, rumor, and newspaper article tacked to the wall. You tried everything that you could.
I just want to be able to give her and this town the closure they deserve, especially after all this time has passed. It feels long overdue.
Sorry, Harris. Duty calls. Hello? What's that? What's that, Lou? Sam's boy did what now? Yeah, I'll be right over as soon as possible. I'm sorry to cut the conversation short, Harris, but I gotta go take care of this.
No, I understand, Frank. You gotta take care of your business. I'll walk you out to your car.
Oh, yeah. Harris?
Hmm?
Some locals have been talking about a newcomer poking around town asking about you. They've been to the diner a few times asking if anyone knows where to find you, and they even mentioned Claire by name. It seems strange since you haven't been to Mistwood in years. I wonder if they might know anything about that bracelet you received.
You get a name or anything about who they may be?
Sorry, Harris, I didn't catch any details about the person. Best of luck.
I wonder what they could want. I know Frank said we tried our best, but did we really do everything we could?
Some locals have been talking about a newcomer poking around town asking about you. They've been to the diner a few times.
The diner? I haven't been there in forever. I could go for a cup of coffee. And maybe I'll be lucky enough to run into this mystery person. Even with the pain of Claire's disappearance, these woods still hold a special place in my heart. I'll never forget the times that she and I spent here together.
Race you to the tree. Go.
No fair. You got a head start.
I made it. Come on. Let's climb up to the treehouse.
I still feel like I could drive through this town with my eyes closed. Mistwood Diner. Man, the amount of times they kicked me out of here. Let's go see if there's anybody here that can point out this newcomer. I can't believe the diner still has the same smell from when I was a kid. It smells like home.
Take any seat. I'll be right with. Oh my goodness, young Harry Walker? Is that you, sweetie?
Wow, Doris, hey, it's so good to see you. Same smell, same old wallpaper. This place hasn't changed at all. It's so good to see you, Doris. I didn't figure you'd still be working here.
Well, welcome home, hun. You know, not much in this town changes, but I own the diner now.
Oh, well, congratulations, Doris.
Now, what can I get for you?
Can I just get a black coffee, please?
Sure, I'll be right back.
Even after all my years away, I can still pick out every face in this diner. There's not one unfamiliar face in here.
Anything else I can get you?
I'm all set for now, Doris. Thank you so much.
You know, we missed you in this town. We understand why you left, but we sure could have used you to lean on.
I know, Doris. The pain was just so heavy, and I just couldn't be here any longer. I had to go so that I could find a way to heal.
Well, we're glad you're home. Let me know if you need anything else.
Out of all the fond memories that I have of Mistwood, the coffee definitely isn't one of them. I was really hoping this newcomer would be here. If I don't see him by the time that I finish my coffee, I'll just have to start asking around. If you've been to Mistwood, you've been in this diner. It's the most popular place in town. Still no newcomer. I wonder if Doris has seen him, though. Hey, excuse me, Doris? I'm ready for my check, please.
Absolutely. Be right there.
Doris, Can I ask you something?
Sure thing, sweetheart.
I was talking to Sheriff Frank earlier. He was letting me know that there's been some newcomer in town asking around about me. I was just wondering if you've seen them recently.
Now that you mention it, I do recall seeing a young man that I didn't recognize a few times. He was asking about you.
You have? Do you by chance remember what they look like or any way that I could find them?
If I had to guess, he looked to be in his mid to late 30s. He wore thick, black-framed glasses and had long, curly blonde hair. I didn't catch his name, but he definitely wasn't from around here.
And how long ago was that, Doris?
It's been a few days since I've seen him. He only stopped in for a sandwich. I thought he was just passing through.
Thanks, Doris. I really appreciate that information. And here, keep the tip. It was really good seeing you again. I'll be back.
Thanks, hon. I appreciate it. I'll be seeing you soon.
I really don't know what to do now. This would have been the most likely place to find anybody in Mistwood. Now that I've got a description on what this guy looks like, maybe I'll be able to ask around to some of the locals to see if they recognize him.
Detective Walker, I've waited some time for this conversation. Come, sit down with me.
Sorry, partner. I'm gonna need a name before I sit with you.
Of course, Detective. I'm Caleb. Caleb Wright.
Tell me something, Caleb. Why you've been asking around about me, huh?
I'm sorry for showing up unannounced. I know questioning the past raises suspicion, but I believe we both want to uncover the truth about that day.
That day? You know something about Claire's disappearance? You know her memory still cuts deep to many around here.
I know, and I don't mean to cause more pain for folks. But let's just say I've heard some whispers regarding some missed evidence.
Missed evidence? Like what exactly?
I heard Claire kept a small notebook with a bird on the cover. A notebook that she used to write about some townspeople.
A notebook? Now, I don't know about that one, Caleb. I knew Claire pretty well. I've never seen her with any kind of notebook. We searched for clues all over her house and her bedroom. We never found anything like that. Honestly, that sounds more like gossip to me. How do you know about this notebook anyways?
Let's just say this town has more secrets than you realize, Detective. And you and I both know that gossip can have some truth to it.
Yeah. I'll give you that on the gossip part, but I don't think that's the case here. Anyways, what does the notebook even say? And where can I find it?
I can't tell you where to find it, but I heard that Claire wrote about someone in this town that many would say is well respected. Someone who would prefer that their secrets stay buried. Possibly someone with close ties to the investigation.
Silence Claire? No, that can't be. We investigated and found no signs of a struggle, no signs that anyone was involved. Where are you getting this from?
I understand your shock. I can't disclose my source to you, at least not yet, but I believe you and I both want the truth. Not only for your sake, Detective, but for Claire and this town. This is your chance, Detective. A chance to finally get closure.
But why now, Caleb? Why come to me after all these years?
I only recently found out this information. I feel like the time for justice is here.
What are you really after here, Caleb, huh?
The same thing as you, Detective. The truth. I think you should have this. Consider it the first key to closure.
A jewelry box? How is this going to help me?
Don't be so quick to judge. That's not just any jewelry box. I'll be in touch, Detective.
I don't see how this jewelry box can be helpful. It doesn't have any clues in it. It's just an ordinary jewelry box with a bird etched on the top of it.
That's a beautiful jewelry box, Harry. Is that for someone special?
Oh! Hey, Doris. I didn't hear you sneak up behind me. Yeah, I guess you could say it's for someone special.
Mind if I take a look?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What beautiful work on the robin. You know, some say they symbolize a new beginning.
A new beginning?
You know, I recognize this jewelry box.
You do? Where from, Doris?
I remember wanting this exact one during my time as a server here. Mr. Henderson's shop on Main Street had it. By the time I saved up the funds, sadly, it was sold.
Mr. Henderson's shop? I hadn't thought about that place in years. Is it still open?
Why, yes, it is. Mr. Henderson isn't as involved in the business as he used to be. His son runs most of the business now.
Well, thanks, Doris. I really appreciate your help. I'm going to go see Mr. Henderson now.
Oh, anytime, Harry. Do come back soon. It was good seeing you again.
Well, maybe Caleb is onto something. I still don't trust him, though. Mistwood Gems. This place hasn't changed one bit in the last 20 years. Hopefully Mr. Henderson is here.
Welcome to Mistwood Gems. How can I help you?
Tom? Tom, is that you? And I haven't seen you in ages. I don't think you've aged in the last 20 years.
Harris? Harris Walker? Is that you? Well, I'll be. I heard you were back, but I didn't believe it. How you holding up?
I'm good, Tom, thanks. How's your father?
Oh, you know him. Stubborn as ever. But he's still getting around. You actually just missed him. He left to run some errands. What brings you into the shop?
Well, I was hoping to speak with your father. I found this jewelry box today, and Doris told me that it may have come from here. I wanted to see if Mr. Henderson could look at it and tell me who it may have belonged to so I could return it to them.
I'm not sure how long my father will be, but I can look after it for you. I've been digitizing my father's records for a few years now, so I may have some information for you.
Sure, if you wouldn't mind looking, I'd really appreciate it. Here, Tom.
What a beautiful robin. It looks like something my father would have sold back in the day. I'm not familiar with this one, but let me type the description into our computer and see if we have any records. Give me a moment, Harris.
Thanks for checking, Tom.
Jewelry box. Oak. Robin. And search. It should only take a few moments now, Harris.
So how has everything else been, Tom? How's business going?
You know, not much changes around here. We're just happy to still be in business. I know this week is a tough week, it being 20 years and all.
Yeah, this week really is always tough. But I always try to do what I can to stay positive and just keep moving forward.
Ah, I see. You just happened to find a jewelry box that was delivered to Claire Roberts' address 20 years ago?
That jewelry box belongs to Claire? Did she purchase it, Tom?
Unfortunately, I'm not sure who purchased it. I can tell you it was delivered to her address, though.
Tom, please. I need to know who made the purchase.
I don't have a full name, just their initials MD, and they paid cash.
MD? Who could that be?
I'm not sure, Harris, but let me do some more research and see if I can find something for you. Here's your box back.
Okay, Tom, thanks. I'll talk to you later. MD? Like a medical doctor? Well, Caleb did say it was somebody well respected. Now what do I do? Is that Mr. Henderson over there?
I haven't seen a jewelry box like this in ages, my boy. What a beautiful piece.
You recognize this box, Mr. Henderson?
How could I not? It was our once best-selling jewelry box. Everyone loved it due to its secret compartment inside. What a joy it is to see one of these again. Take care.
Thanks, Mr. Henderson. It was really good seeing you. Take care of yourself. Now, where is it? Huh?
Hello again, Detective. Have you made any progress with the present I gave you?
Caleb, get in.
Well, okay.
Do you know this jewelry box has a secret compartment?
I knew the jewelry box was important. I was unaware that it may have contained anything like that. What did you find?
Nothing yet. I just found out about it.
Open it up already. Let's see.
Look, Caleb. I'm ready to find out if there's anything hidden in this jewelry box, but you're gonna have to share more information with me first. You've got to tell me everything you know.
All right, Detective. If you're sure that you're ready to uncover the truth, I'll tell you everything.
I'm ready, Caleb. Let's bring peace to Claire. Let's go.
Where are we going?
Somewhere we can talk and go over everything. In private. All right, Caleb, it's time. No more lies, no more half-truths. Tell me what you know about Claire.
You're right, Detective. Would you like me to put you in contact with my source?
Yes, Caleb. It's definitely time that I've met them so that I can question them and figure this out.
I agree. Luckily for you, my source is right here.
You? You're the source? Why didn't you just say that?
I may be the source, Detective, but the real answers lie within the pages of this notebook, and hopefully that jewelry box.
You've had the notebook this entire time? Caleb, you could have just led with that.
Sorry, Detective. Here, open it. But be aware, you may not like what you read.
It's Claire's lost entry, written just a week before she went missing. But why is part of the page torn?
Read it, Detective. I'm not sure where that missing piece of the page is.
Tonight, I saw MD head into the town hall. I wouldn't have thought anything about it, but it was 1 a.m. Out of curiosity, I walked over towards the window to have a look in. It was dark. She didn't turn on any of the lights in the building. It was as if she didn't want to draw attention to herself or the building. What I saw next was unbelievable. MD was stuffing funds from the safe into her purse. While I don't know what those funds were for, I can imagine they weren't for her. I need to make it right. We need to find the rest of this page, and we have got to figure out who MD is.
I'm hoping the answers are in that hidden compartment, Detective. Let's find that compartment and get it open.
You're right, Caleb. Hopefully the proof is in this box. Ha! I got it. It's a torn piece of paper with something written on it. It may be what we're looking for.
What does it say?
I need to talk to Officer Collins about his wife. Mary Dawson. Caleb, I've got to ask you, why did you sit on this evidence for 20 years? And why come forward with it now?
To tell you the truth, Detective, I just recently came across this notebook and jewelry box, along with the bracelet that I mailed to you.
Wait. You sent me the bracelet? How did you even get the bracelet, and how are you connected to any of this?
I met Claire many years ago. We both attended the same summer camp as children. She was kind and we became friends. We eventually became pen pals, and once I got my driver's license, I would take my father's vehicle and we would meet. She talked a lot about her friends, family, and the people of Mistwood. Most of it good, but every now and then, she would share some unbelievable stories. She never mentioned that she thought she was in any sort of danger, just that she had seen the shady things people had done.
I honestly didn't know you were that close to her, Caleb. I remember the one time that she came home from summer camp and she mentioned that she had made a new friend there. But I never imagined that our paths would cross. How did you end up with her items after all this time?
I lost my parents this past month. I was going through their belongings getting things ready for an estate sale. I found a box in my father's garage. When I opened it, I saw the robin on the front of the notebook. I instantly knew it was Claire's, and my heart dropped. You didn't know this, but I saw Claire just 2 days before she disappeared. I drove to Mistwood and we went hiking in Pike Peak. I'm thinking she must have left or forgotten her notebook in the car, and my father put it away when cleaning his car out. When I opened it and read some of her passages, I felt sick to my stomach. What she witnessed, what she knew about people in her neighborhood. It was then that I figured that someone in this notebook, in Mistwood, was involved in her disappearance. The last thing she wrote in her notebook was about hiding her jewelry box in a safe location. It was a location I was familiar with, so I went and found it, thinking it would have evidence of what happened to her, but all I found was her bracelet.
Caleb, I'm so sorry about your parents, but why me? Why send that bracelet to me instead of contacting the police?
Mistwood is a small town, the type of town that people look out for their own. Claire always talked about you and how trustworthy you were. I felt that you were the only person in Mistwood who could be trusted to put forth the effort to solve her disappearance. So I found what police department that you worked for and mailed the bracelet to you. I'm sorry for dragging you back into things 20 years later, but I knew I had to get involved once I found out what Claire left behind.
I really tried my best to put everything behind me. Even knowing that her 20th anniversary was right around the corner, I was still doing a good job at holding everything together. But then I received that bracelet and everything came flooding back. I hadn't felt that way since the day that Claire disappeared. And as much as it hurt me to revisit the past, I'm glad that I did. For the very first time, I finally feel like we're going to get justice for Claire.
I'm just thankful you decided to come back. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't. What's our next move, Detective? Should we go talk to Sheriff Collins and Mary? Go to the police?
I really don't know, Caleb. This is a heavy accusation to make, and we don't have much evidence besides some words in a notebook. With Frank being the Mistwood sheriff, I really don't think they're going to take us too serious. I honestly feel like we have two options. I can either speak to Frank myself, or we can try the state police. Frank and I go way back. We grew up together and we went through the ranks together. But I really don't want to confront my friend without evidence. I think the safest thing we can do right now is show this notebook to the state police and see how that goes.
You're in charge, Detective. I'll follow through with you no matter which way we go.
We're going to at least try the state police, and if that doesn't work, then we'll have to come up with a plan B. Let's go. Well, here goes nothing. Let's go, Caleb. After you.
What can I do for you folks today?
Yes, we were hoping there would be a detective available to speak to us regarding a cold case. We may have some information.
Okay, have a seat while I check to see if there's someone available to speak with you.
Thank you so much.
I don't know, Harris. This doesn't feel right.
I know, Caleb, but we really don't have any other options. I've got no jurisdiction here, and I trust the state police more than I trust Mistwood to investigate one of their own.
Afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Sergeant Ryans. Come follow me. I hear you men wanted to talk about a cold case? Which case exactly?
It's a case from 1994, the disappearance of Claire Roberts from Mistwood.
Roberts, right? That's the girl who vanished near the woods on her way home, if my memory serves. I've heard rumblings that she just vanished. What brings up interest in her case after so long?
Well, we found some evidence that suggests that the wife of Mistwood Sheriff Collins may be involved. We were hoping that you could just take a look into it and rule her out as a suspect. We didn't want to go to Mistwood due to the possibility of a conflict of interest.
You have evidence? What kind of evidence?
The evidence that we uncovered was a notebook that actually belonged to Claire Roberts. Her final entry was written shortly before she went missing, and it detailed a situation of Mary sneaking into town hall and stealing some funds from within a safe, and that Claire was going to speak to Officer Frank Collins regarding the situation.
So, a notebook magically appeared after 20 years that mentions the name of someone stealing funds from the town, and you think that's evidence showing that this Mary woman is involved? I don't know, fellas. It's not much to go off.
It has to be enough, Sergeant. It's all we have after all these years.
I understand you guys are looking for closure. Lord knows the town deserves it. But it's hard to dedicate resources to a cold case when there's no hard evidence. Look, fellas, fill out this report about what you know and what evidence you found, and I'll take it up the chain to see what can be done.
Thanks, Sergeant. We really do appreciate you taking the time to hear us out.
I'll be in touch, gentlemen.
I don't think they took us too seriously.
I agree, Caleb, but I do trust that they'll do the right thing.
What do we do in the meantime?
I say for now, let's just head back to Mistwood and get some food from the diner. I could use a bite to eat. Listen, Caleb, I really do appreciate your help. All because of you coming forward, I finally think we're going to get justice for Claire.
Thanks, Detective. I just want to do what's right for her. I just wish I had found that notebook years ago. It could have saved a lot of suffering.
I know that feeling, I really do. I have that same feeling after all of these... What the... You've got to be kidding me.
Can I see your license and registration, please?
Hey, Frank, what exactly is going on here?
Do you know why I pulled you over?
No, Frank, I really don't. I wasn't speeding, and my insurance and registration are both up to date, so what's really going on?
Well, I heard you were spilling some nasty rumors about my wife. I don't very much appreciate the accusations.
Listen, Frank, we really weren't accusing her of anything. We were just asking them to investigate based on some information that we uncovered.
Look into my wife? She wouldn't hurt anybody. She wouldn't hurt a fly, Harris.
I know this is hard to hear, Frank, but just look at what Claire wrote about her. Caleb, will you give him the notebook?
Are you sure?
Yeah, Caleb, it's fine. Go ahead.
I need both of you to step out of the vehicle. Now.
Come on, Frank.
I said now.
Okay. All right, Frank. We're coming.
Nice and slow now. Don't make any sudden moves.
All right, Caleb, let's just relax and listen to him for now, okay?
Now get in the back of my vehicle.
Absolutely not.
Is this really necessary, Frank? Come on.
I said get in.
All right, we'll get in. Just relax.
Where are we going?
Just shut up.
Frank, I'm sorry that we didn't come to you, but we really don't want any trouble. We only asked them to look into it because of that notebook. We really don't think that Mary was actually involved.
Harris, I'm going to tell you one more time. Be quiet.
Can you at least just tell us where we're going, please?
You'll see.
Frank, what are we doing at the lake?
You'll see, Harris. Just wait.
I really don't like the look of this detective.
It's okay, Caleb. We're gonna be fine. Let's just keep listening to what Frank tells us what to do.
All right. Let's go.
Where to exactly, Frank?
Walk this way. With me. Come on.
Frank, where are you taking us? And why are we here?
Not too much further now. Just around the bend.
Who is that over there?
Frank, what are you three doing here?
Hey, honey. We just came to talk to you about something.
Talk to me? What about?
Well, these men claim to have found an old notebook of Claire Roberts. She makes certain accusations about you that we want to get some clarifications on.
Accusations? What accusations? What are you talking about?
All right. Tell her, Harris.
Well, shortly before she went missing, Claire wrote about her witnessing you stealing some funds from the town hall and that she was going to speak to Frank about it.
Why would I ever steal funds from there? Besides, they fired the treasurer involved with handling the money.
Mary, sweetie, we fired that treasurer. We never found evidence proving she stole the money. Now, is what these men saying true?
Frank, honey, you know me. You know I could never.
I do know you, Mary. I do. I also know when you're not being truthful, and you were acting really strange around the time Claire went missing, and I just chalked it up to you being sad, just like everyone else in Mistwood. But if you had anything to do with it, now is the time to come clean.
It was an accident.
What are you saying, Mary? Were you involved in what happened?
I didn't mean for anything to happen. It just got out of control.
Mary, what happened? Where is Claire?
It's true. I snuck into town hall after everyone left and took some money from the safe. They were going to foreclose on the house. Frank and I didn't know how to tell you.
Mary, you should have told me. How does this have anything to do with Claire?
I was driving home a few nights later when I saw Claire near Olivia's. I stopped and offered her a ride. While driving her home, she told me that she saw what I did, that she was going to the police about it. I tried to reason with her, but she wasn't having it. I couldn't let her ruin our reputation, Frank.
What did you do, Mary?
I don't know, Frank. I blacked out while trying to reason with her, and the next thing I knew, she wasn't moving or breathing.
Where is Claire?
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I was worried that she may have already spoken to someone regarding the money, so I hid her body and the money right here in this lake.
She's in the lake?
She was, but after the search for her died down and things started to get back to normal, I came back. I couldn't handle the guilt any longer. She deserved a proper burial, not anchored in the lake. So I moved her.
Where?
To her favorite place, the treehouse in the woods. I buried her near it so that she could finally rest in peace. Sorry.
Sarah Jones here, live outside the Roanoke County Courthouse, where moments ago, the jury delivered a verdict in a case that's had a hold on this community for 20 years. Mary Collins, wife of Mistwood Sheriff Frank Collins, is on trial for the murder of Claire Roberts, who vanished from Mistwood 2 decades ago. Claire Roberts was a young woman just starting out in life when she disappeared without a trace. The case went cold, leaving a gaping wound in the hearts of Claire's family and Mistwood itself. Days turned into years. Hope dwindled, and Mistwood grappled with the unanswered questions surrounding Claire's disappearance. Then, just a few months ago, a bombshell. Local resident Harris Walker, along with Caleb Wright, came forward with a crucial piece of evidence, a notebook containing information that ultimately led to a confession. The contents of the notebook haven't been made public yet, but it was enough to spark a renewed interest in the investigation and ultimately the arrest of Mary Collins. The trial itself was a whirlwind. And there it is. The jury has spoken. After a tense deliberation that seemed to stretch on forever, Mary Collins has been found guilty of murder. The emotions here outside the courthouse are a roller coaster. Relief washes over some faces, and others are stunned by the verdict. This case has opened old wounds for Mistwood, and the path to healing will likely be long. We've just received word that Harris Walker, the man whose determination helped bring this case to light, will be making a statement shortly. We'll take a short break and be right back. Welcome back. We're here now outside the Roanoke County Courthouse, where a large crowd has gathered. Standing before them is Harris Walker.
For 2 decades, our community has been under a cloud of uncertainty. Today, that cloud begins to lift. But there are no winners here. Claire is still gone, leaving behind a void that her loved ones will always fill. But there is closure. Claire's innocence has been affirmed. We can now properly mourn her loss, remembering her for the life that she lived rather than the tragedy of her death. The journey to healing will be challenging, but today, Mistwood takes a step forward. We can begin to lay Claire to rest and move forward as a community, forever changed, but resilient. Thank you.